Hey everybody, Shay Martin here with another episode of the Dark Squares for blind chess players. I received a Echo talking chess clock for Christmas, and I thought folks might be interested to see how this thing works. I know I was before I received it. So the device is about 5 inches wide, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches tall. On the top of it is a lever that it's like a seesaw. When you make your move on the board, you hit the lever, it goes to the other side. When they make their move, they hit the lever, back and forth. So once you press down on your lever, the other side's clock runs, vice versa. There's a screen on the front of it for the light dependent folks. And there's 5 buttons along the front bottom edge. And these buttons are labeled with Braille, A through E. And there's a power button underneath to turn the device on and off, of course, and also to reset it when you inevitably get lost in the menus as you're learning the clock. All right, so, also on the left and the right are 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks, also known as 1/8. They're your standard headphone jacks, though. So the one on the left is for whichever player is on the left of the clock, and vice versa. Right now, I've got this plugged into my stereo system, so you'll be able to hear it from the left side. Okay, so I'm going to turn the clock on.
Set option.
Okay, so it comes up with set option, and where it's at right now is in a list of presets. The device comes with 25 standard presets, such as an hour, flat, 2 hours with 30-second increment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can just go through those, go through those, and it will tell you what their settings are. It also has 5 slots for you to manually put in whatever clock settings you want. And that's where we're parked. So slots 26 through 30 are for you to put in your own custom settings. And the way the menus work on this thing, like I said, there's 5 buttons. So the first button moves back through the menus. The 5th button, the E button, goes up through the menus. The 2nd button, the B button, moves a value down, and the D button moves the values up. This is going to sound confusing until you get your hands on this thing, but it does work. It's a little bit clumsy, but it's definitely workable. Okay, so I'm going to hit E, the E button.
Set period 1.
Okay, so I know I'm on slot 26, which I've already got as a preset that I created. So from here you can set the clock, the amount of time each player has. So if I go up in value by hitting the D key.
Delay.
I'm sorry, this first one sets the type of clock. And by going up, I set it to delay. If I go down with the B key,
Fisher.
I'll set it to Fisher, which is what I know of as an interval. So I've got a flat time and then an interval that'll be added. So for me, on this setting, every time you make a move, 10 seconds will be added to your clock. So I'm going to hit the E key.
Set time left.
Okay, I would set the clock starting time for the left player here. You have to set the time for each player individually. So if I go up in value with the D key,
1 hour.
so it's parked initially on hours. So when I went up there, it went to 1 hour, but I want it on 0 hours. So I'm going to go back down in value by hitting the B key.
0 hours.
Now I'm going to hit E to go to the next slot, which will be tens of minutes. It doesn't read out where you're at though, so if you need to check it, you go up in value
30 minutes.
and back down in value.
20 minutes.
Because I do want it on 20 minutes. Now I'll go to the single minutes by hitting the E key. Now that, again, it doesn't read it out, but I know it's set to 0, and I can check that by going up in value, D key.
1 minute.
And back down.
0 minutes.
All right. I'll go to the next value with the E key, go up with D.
20 seconds.
And back down.
10 seconds.
So that 10 seconds is the interval. So we have hours, 10 minutes, single minutes, and then another one labeled seconds, and that seconds is your interval. So the way this is set, it's a 20-minute clock with 10-second intervals. And you would continue along, hit E.
Set time. Right.
Okay. This is set time for the right player. We'll just blast through this because I know it's already set. That would be, so I was on hours, that would be 10 minutes, single minutes, and then seconds.
Set extra time.
You can set
left.
extra time. I don't want that.
Set extra time. Right.
Okay. I'm just hitting E to get through all these.
Set moves.
Okay, you can put in the moves here. So you can have, got to have 30 moves in whatever amount of time. If you don't change that, then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, I'm continuing with E.
Set period 2.
And now you can set another period. So like say you make 30 moves in the first period in 60 minutes or whatever, then now you can do another period. I've rarely played a game like that, but there's an option for it if you need it.
Set sound.
Okay, and then here it says set sound. So if I hit D to go up in value,
Off.
that's off. And
On.
if I go up again, it loops around to on. What that does is it'll play an alarm as your time is running really low. It could be a good thing. All right, so I'm going to hit E.
Set freeze.
And set freeze. What that does is once one player's clock runs out, the display freezes right there. So say I've got a minute, 10 seconds left, my opponent's clock has run out, everything will just freeze right there. I guess so that a tournament director could verify everything. Anyways, seems to me the freeze would be the way to go every time, but I don't think it defaults to that. So let me make sure it's on.
Off. On.
And it is on. Okay, so, and I think,
Option 26 selected.
yeah. So if you hit E again, it loops back around to which option you got selected. Now I can hit C to select that preset.
Game started.
And start the game. So now if I'm white as the left player, I would make my move on the board and then hit the lever. That's my sound effect for the lever. I made myself, thank you. And let's check the time by hitting the A button. And the way this works is the left player can check time with A and B. The right player can check time with D and E. So I'm going to hit A because we're plugged into the left headphone jack here.
20 minutes, 15 seconds.
Okay, so as white, I've got 20 minutes, 15 seconds. Now when I hit B, it'll play a it'll play a brief beep to let you know that you are checking the time of your opponent.
19 minutes, 41 seconds.
Okay, and now they'll make their move, hit the lever, and now white's clock, or I should say the left player's clock, starts to run. I say left and right because you can have it whichever way you want, depending on which player's on the left, which is on the right, white versus black. Okay, there's some other stuff in here. You can make manual adjustments to the time. You can turn the volume up and down. That's easily done by holding down the A or B keys. So if I hold down A, the volume will drop.
Volume 9.
If I hold down B, it goes back to 10.
Volume 10.
And then the right player can do the same thing by holding down D or E, and their volume will go down or up respectively. So I've played a few games with this just to check it out. It works really, really well. Like I say, there's a bit of a learning curve when you're setting up your own clocks. And I know what I went through was really fast and probably fairly confusing, but it's one of these devices you've just got to get your hands on and do it a few times to get the hang of it. I wish they had, had it speak the values when you're on hours, minutes, seconds, etc. But not that big a deal once you get used to it. These clocks are expensive. I believe with shipping and everything, mine was like $270. I will say I ordered it direct from the manufacturer, and I thought, well, since this is based in the Netherlands, this is going to be quite a while, but they must be shipping it locally here in the States at least, because I got it in I think 3 days. I did not pay for expedited shipping or anything. Okay, so I think that about sums it up. I did a good bit of research, heard from other people. This seems to be the best option for a blind accessible chess clock, and it is sanctioned by the USCF, United States Chess Federation. So you can take this to over-the-board tournaments, and it's totally legal. And with the championship tournament coming up this July, I know a lot of people will be looking at possibly getting these clocks. Bottom line, I recommend it. I think it's pretty expensive, but if you take care of it, it should last a really, really long time. Finally, the Echo talking chess clock is made by DGT, Digital Game Technology. If you do a Google search for DGT Echo chess clock, you'll run across it, and I will also put the URL in the YouTube notes there. Okay, gang, happy chessing out there, and may your next game be blunderless.